love to hear, to have everyone participate in the Mentimeter. And I would like to ask you what stood out for you, audience? What stood out for you out of this conversation? So you will see in the chat box the link to the Mentimeter. So please click on the link and then we will see your contribution, your learnings at the, oh, here they are. Okay, so let me go through them. So what stood out for you in today's coaching conversation? The power of reflecting back. And when the coach asked, what is it that you can replace it with? Today, the chunking was a masterpiece of the conversation. The shift in the client to convert what was viewed as probably imposition to something that she required. The awareness the coach evoked for the client, the calmness of the coach. ACC framework is so powerful. The seamless dance between the coach and client, transference from outside to inside, and how the coach kept reflecting and trusting that the client already has the value that she was already looking for. Reflections, the power of framing and bulleting, the way the coach helped the client navigate through resistance by gradual evocation for awareness. The coach was able to reveal what is concealed within her, and he even did this with so much calmness. Reflecting inquiry. The way Dr. Ben reflects back to the client is really powerful. It inspires me to see how this is done in real life. Absolutely, yes. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And I can hear in those few pieces that you have picked up on the power of observation and observation what the client is experiencing actually, and reflecting back in the bulleting and framing the inquiry. And somebody mentioned about our ACC framework and how powerful it is to support us, to support the client, to see clearer within themselves. It's truly like we are lifting up that iceberg, or we are lifting up that stone so that the client can see it, so that everything that is meaningful and important here is revealed to the client. So thank you so much for participating. Yeah. Okay. And Ben, are you ready to answer a few questions?
Well, maybe I will reserve some of the insight in another room. And we're gonna move quickly to the other room. Perhaps maybe it would be great to have our faculty members to share, some of the things that they're observing in this conversation. Would that be a better idea?
Of course.
Yeah, great. So we have Azadeh, we have Lina, and who else do we have? We have Melina also, and we have also Sarah. Great. So feel free to, contribute to the collective learning as to what you think we can learn from these coaching conversations.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to jump in. Hi, Ben. Hi, Nok. Hi, everyone. This is Lina from Lebanon. Thank you, Ben and Fadia, for this beautiful learning opportunity. So actually, what stood out for me more in this conversation is that sometimes we as coaches, we always say that we need to trust our intuition. And I think Dr. Ben here was building on that and was like feeling the resistance of the client in shedding off her values and how she was raised, and moving her to that perspective and acceptance that it's okay to be like that. And as Fadia said, and we hear it a lot here when Dr. Ben is coaching, is that I don't know how I reached this place. So that's the power of coaching, actually. You don't know what you know until you talk about it. So thank you so much for this great opportunity, Dr. Ben and Fadia.
Thank you, Lina. I just want to write on something that you say was so insightful. if the coach knows the answer to the questions, what's the point of coaching? Right. And I think that that's where, we can appreciate this competency, called the curiosity to learn. And that really stems from a coaching mindset here. How you are thinking and how you need to think as a professional coach. And I think in our core training, we emphasize that a lot, that the way you think is going to influence the way you are executing, your skill set and your craft, right? Just having a knowledge of what the subject matter is not enough. You need to be able to nurture a thinking system as a coach, a learning mindset here, or as in the coach was curious about, based on observation, what is that you are saying? Is that what exactly that you are saying? Is that another way to say that? So it's a constant, you know, looking at what's that. Even though we know, okay, that's a drama. Yeah. What about a drama that you can tell me more? It was in this very moment, because the client doesn't have that, but given an opportunity to express and articulate, that they start to see something that is so difficult for a person who is in the actual situation to be able to gain that kind of clarity. So it's something very interesting here, that we know it, but we never know it until we actually talk about it. And it takes the coach a learning mindset, to be able to draw out from the client. And this is a skill I think a lot of people take it for granted. Okay, so I think that's a very insightful comment that Lina, you have mentioned. As a would you like to write on that, or you would like to offer something else?
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much. So first of all, thank you so much, Ben, and thank you so much, Fadia, for this beautiful session, for giving us this opportunity to learn from it. So what I'm really appreciating, as a lot of you have already written, is the power of reflecting back, as Ben is just saying. So yeah, maybe the client has said something, but when the coach is able to capture it concisely and reflect it back, so that they can see not only what is the situation, but how am I thinking around it? How am I relating towards this situation? This is something we spend so much time with at CMA. And they're already right in the beginning with the first reflection back. It seemed like something already dropped for the client, something as if they were able to see something that they see themselves, basically. So what really stood out for me was how the client saw themselves, and then how we could see her mind being stretched. So there's a core competency of expanding around the current way of thinking, expanding beyond the current way of thinking, and evoking awareness. And this is where we could see the client working really hard, and the coach really pushing our client today to work hard. And thank you for that client, for really, bringing yourself in that, availing yourself for that. And that's the beauty, when the client is able to see themselves, and then to be able to see how they're thinking around it, and then the partnership enabling them to move on from there. Thank you so much, Ben.
Oh, great insight and great comment. Okay, so we are very mindful about the time, so maybe we'll just have one of the faculty member to give an insight, and then we'll quickly move on to the other room, where we can talk a little bit more about the technical part of what is being demonstrated. So you can kind of walk away with more practical learning, on how you can translate some of this insight into something that you can execute. So maybe not. What I'm going to do, maybe just hold the space for just one more person, and I'm going to make you the host, so that I can leave the room now, and then move on to open up the other